Everyone, welcome to the Transfer Exchange Show. We're here to preview the Arsenal West Brom game, which is going to kick off in about 45 minutes' time. Delighted to be joined by Mr. Steve K. Steve, how are you? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good. Just had me nice roast dinner. Looking forward to sitting down and watching the game.
That's it. So, firstly, I guess, Steve, have you got, before obviously we preview this game, have you got over the other night? What are your sort of overriding thoughts a few days on from Thursday night?
Yeah. I mean, nothing's changed. Sometimes you come on, out from a game, and sometimes you're a little bit, you go over the top with the words. But no, I think what we said the other night was true, and I don't feel any different as far as getting over it. Yeah, you've got to get over it and go on to the next game. I mean, we've got West Brom and JLBN today, and there's still that chance. So it's a slim chance, but we've got to go to the end because someone could slip up. Yeah,
that's a good point. That's a good point. So in terms of today's lineup, obviously we've got it running across the bottom of the screen now. We'll just talk you through it quickly. Obviously, Leno in goal, Chambers holding Gabriel, and it looks like Saka at left back, but we'll wait and see. Sebastian El Nene in midfield, Pepe, Smith Rowe, and Willian, and looks like Martinelli up front. What are your thoughts on that starting 11, Steve? Any surprises? Anything at all that sort of surprised you at all with that lineup?
Well, Aubameyang's not in there. Partey's not in there. And it was funny how we said at the beginning of the night, the end of while we was talking the other night into the post-match show after the Villarreal game, Aubameyang and Partey were the two players you really need a good kick up the backside. I thought anyway. And it looks like Arteta may have thought that as well. He's gone with a different side. I think with both of them now, I think they should just pack them away, wrap them up, and just let them go again next season. And go with this type of team. Yeah,
I agree. So something that's caught my eye, Steve, I don't know if it's caught you as well, is the inclusion of Willian, who obviously, I think he's played 36 games this season, Steve, hasn't scored a goal, has got quite a bit of stick from the fans. He's a player that probably a lot of Arsenal fans wouldn't mind if Arsenal sold him in the summer. And obviously he's starting today. What are your thoughts on Willian starting?
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't done anything since he came to the club. And he's another one in that bracket of needs a good kick at the backside. Half of me is thinking to myself, look, let's play him for the rest of the season. Let's just give you these last 4 games. Prove to us that we're wrong. Not that we're wrong because we're saying you're a bad player, because we know you're not a bad player.
Yeah.
But your attitude has stunk since it's came to Arsenal, and you haven't performed.
Yeah.
Prove to us now you can stay in for that 4.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like you said, I just think the best thing is to move him on.
Yeah. It'll be hard probably because of the wages he's on, but we'll see. We'll see what happens in the summer.
One thing I hope he hasn't done is picked us a weaker team with the idea of it don't matter now, because it does matter, Jerome. I really do think it still does matter. I mean, there's 4 games to go. If we win today, we'll be 4 points behind Tottenham with 9 points to play for.
Yeah.
And we all know what Tottenham's form is like at the end of the season. They've got to play Wolves at home, Villa at home, and Leicester away.
Yeah.
And we've got Palace, Brighton, and Chelsea away. Who might have things on their head.
Yeah.
So let's keep going to the end.
Yeah, fair enough.
You never know.
Yeah, so I think obviously from what you're saying, just try and play a strong team to the end of the season and see where we finish. I think when I sort of thought about these games coming up, especially this one, I think something that I wanted to see is, or from my side, maybe on a slightly different level, is that for me the season's basically finished, and what I wanted to see players play in these next 4 games that are going to be at the club next season, that maybe haven't had a chance, possibly like a Balogun perhaps. Aziz is still very young, so I'm not surprised he's not there. But Balogun, that's recently signed his new contract, but he's playing a player like Ceballos, who we don't think he'll be there next season. So I was sort of surprised that he's playing. But if he doesn't want to play too much of a weakened team, even though Ceballos hasn't been fantastic, maybe that's why he's in there. But can you see that point, Steve, about playing players that are going to be there next season rather than ones
definitely.
that...
Yeah, definitely. Especially as you said, Ceballos is a prime example of that. He ain't pulled up trees recently. He's been very vocal on how he wants to leave the club. It's not been guesswork from journalists. It's not been guesswork from ourselves. These are facts and quotes that he's made. So, like you said, I totally agree with you, mate. It's very surprising that he's in there. On the other, on the other side of the coin, this is a typical. Looking at this side tonight, shows me that we need some serious backing in the summer.
Yeah,
we've got a centre back playing right back. We've got an attacking midfield player playing left back.
Yeah,
we've got Ceballos who's leaving. Don't seem to give a sod anymore, playing in our midfield.
Yeah,
and people say he's backed us.
Yeah,
this is a prime example. Looking at these names, people who are watching, that are going across your screen, to show that this guy ain't backed us.
Yeah, exactly. And this is why this summer's so big, because everyone's going to be looking at the owners and expecting a lot, aren't they? They're going to be, all eyes are going to be on them.
Yeah,
all eyes are going to be on them for sure.
I mean, how much do you think? I mean, these are probably for our other shows, but looking at that 11 going across there, you just wonder how much money you need. I mean, to turn that around, it's quite quite scary.
I think they can raise quite a bit, depending if they sell correctly. I think they can raise significant amounts, but saying they can raise it and actually doing it are two different things, aren't they?
Yeah. It's and then it's the same old problem of like, you want a squad as well. So the more players you're selling, have we got good enough players on the bench to come on? It's hard to say, because if you're going to sell players like Lacazette, if you're going to sell players like Bellerin, if you're going to sell players like William, you've got to get in not only players to replace them, you've also got to get the players, really, that I feel anyway, to go on the bench to come in. Yeah, and it's such an hard balance to work out. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of talking about Arsenal in the next few months, I think.
That's it. So, Steve, the reverse fixture earlier on in the season away to West Brom was probably one of our best performances, wasn't it? I think we really played well in that game. I remember Tierney scored a superb goal. There was a really nice team move between, I think, Smith Rowe, Lacazette and Saka, when Saka scored a tap-in. So Arsenal have played well against this team before, and I think a lot of the fans are going to be maybe not expecting, but you're playing a team that are probably going to get relegated. Might even get relegated today, perhaps, if depending on the score. And I think Arsenal fans want to see a reaction, don't they? They want to see, because if you can't perform well against this type of team, then it really doesn't. It doesn't look great, does it? So hopefully we'll get a good performance today.
Yeah. Hopefully, you know. I mean, West Brom teams can react differently. They could give up, or they could relax and think, I've got nothing to play for now, and they can all of a sudden just turn it on. I still think it's going to be a difficult game for Arsenal today. And that probably
always is. Always is, isn't it, Steve?
Always. And it probably tells you It probably tells everybody that where we are at the moment. Because again, just looking at them names going across the screen there, I mean that's we're 10th, 11th, and that team there is 10th, 11th.
Yeah, that's true.
You've got Leeds, and you've got possibly West Ham. You could argue with maybe because West Ham have overperformed this season and done well. That overall, as a squad go, with Leeds and West Ham, we've probably got a better squad and a whole.
Yeah.
But everybody else, the other 8 teams, we're not as good as them, even as a squad.
Yeah, no, you're right.
That's why.
You're right.
That's why we were talking about when we said about the summer, and everybody's going to have their eyes. I mean, that was perfect words said, mate.
Yeah. I think Glenn makes a good point here about Willian seems to be getting a lot of minutes, and someone like Reece Nelson, especially in a game like today, if you're gonna either try to sell Reece Nelson or sending him out on loan somewhere, I mean, it's not going to do any harm by playing him and maybe putting him in the shop window, because I mean he can't do much worse than Willian, can he? But this manager's making some strange decisions, isn't it, at the moment? And
it's a good point from Glenn. Very good point. And the only answer I've got for that is that he's not giving Nelson any minutes at all at the moment. Even coming off of a bench, he's not giving him nothing. So that really tells me that Nelson is more than likely to move on in the summer. Yeah. And it would probably get decent money for him.
Yeah.
A lot of people looking for that right-sided winger. So that's the thing with Nelson. I've got a funny feeling he's one of the nailed-on ones to leave, sadly.
Yeah. Anyway, Steve, as we always do, we'll end with a prediction. What are you thinking for today's game?
I always think teams will score against us, so I think we won't get a clean sheet. I think West Brom will get a goal. Yeah, I'll go for Robinson. I'll play safe, and Arsenal. That team just like makes me shake my head and think. I'm going to go for 2. I can't see us getting 3. I'll go 2. I'll go for 2-1. As far as goal scorers goes, I'm going to say Gabriel will score from a corner, and Martinelli.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, corner's a good shout. We haven't really scored a lot from open play, have we? So corner's a good shout. Glenn's predicting 2-2. So we'll see what.
There, Glenn.
That's it. Exactly. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for joining. We'll be back at 8 o'clock for the transfer exchange show. We've got a superb guest. We've got Jim Whitley, former Man City and Northern Ireland international. So join us then. But from myself and Steve, thanks for joining. Steve, thanks for your thoughts just then.
You're welcome, mate. Always, as always.
Yeah,
very enjoyable.
That's it. That's it.
Anyway, this part's very enjoyable. Now we're going to the pain.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, let's see what these next 90 minutes bring, and we'll see you later on. Cheers, Marhill as well for watching.
Cheers,
see you guys.
Thanks for the comments.
See you, everyone. Bye.